Ashley St. Clair was tweeting about a flight that landed from Newark, New Jersey, and it bounced on the runway, hard landing, nearly totaling the plane. I think the plane is disabled. Like the fuselage looks like it was bent and cracked up. And according to Ashley St. Clair, or I should say, she asked whether or not this was a diversity hire who was fired and then rehired, even though they shouldn't have been. We got a pilot shortage. Flight cancellations like crazy. Are these airlines hiring in large numbers, and are they hiring for diversity? Because we know Boeing's all about it. Take a look at this. Global Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Report. I'm wondering if what's really happening is the infrastructure failures we're seeing are due to the fact that all of these companies for the past decade plus have been prioritizing hiring based on ideology instead of meritocracy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have that terrible transportation secretary, right? Pete Buttigieg, who has no reason to have his job. I mean, this system is failing both privately and in terms of the government.
It's also interesting, just as, you know, a consumer, how much worse airline travel has gotten since 2020. It's terrible. It's terrible. Flights get canceled all the time. I literally, just this past weekend, I had a flight somewhere and the airline canceled my flight morning of and rerouted it to a different city. They're like, hey, like a city that was like an hour away. I was like,
they're like, close enough. Have a good time. You can't
just like send me somewhere else. That's not where I was trying to fly. It was
switch. So I had a flight from Vegas to, I think it was Dallas to DC. Without telling me or asking me, they switched my ticket from a first class to a coach. Last minute booking to Colorado to DC without telling me. So we show up to the airport, tickets don't work. I'm confused. I'm like trying to scan the ticket to go through security. And then I look at my email and it's like, your flight has been changed. And I was like, wait, what? So they put me, I pay for this ticket. It's expensive. And I end up sitting in the way back in a chair that like can barely recline.
Wow.
It's a 777.
So
next to the toilet.
Did they reimburse you?
Not kidding.
Yeah.
No.
They didn't reimburse you. You paid for first class and you had to sit in
You
the
have to
back of
like
the plane.
call the airline to get the reimbursement. It's a pain.
But the issue was,
wow,
none of my flights were canceled. There was a weather alert in Dallas and it was delayed, but that didn't mean anything. Yeah. My flight would have landed there just fine, and then I could have waited for the delay. And they said, it's better if we just put you on this flight now so you can catch the Denver to DC. And I'm like, I'll just take the delay. Yeah. It's insane. And there's no human beings. No. When we showed up to the airport, because we have an early morning flight from DC to come back home, from Vegas to DC, there were no human beings anywhere. When I walked up to a counter, I see a United worker. I said, I have a question. I know it's the wrong gate. And she goes, I'm not on yet. And I was like, I'm sorry to bug you. Maybe you could point me in the right direction. And then she's like, nope. I was like, okay.
Dude, it's great. I think a few months ago, I had a flight that was delayed for a solid 8 hours. I was like, you could have just they did that annoying thing where they delay it 1 hour at a time so you won't leave. Right. I was like, just tell me how long it's delayed for. Yeah. And then I literally sat there for an entire day. I was like, I could have got a different flight or I could have left or
they
done
don't
something. That's exactly, they don't want you to. That's why they lie to you.
When a flight is canceled, they've got 100 to 300 people now rushing to the ticket counter to try and get new flights. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They'd rather you just sit there. Mm-hmm. And let they don't want you causing trouble.
Yeah, and I don't want to come across as xenophobic, but if I walked in and I saw 2 women in the cockpit, I would get off that plane. I mean, seriously, I mean...
My bigger issue, in all seriousness, is what if you get on a plane and you see that 80% are migrants carrying envelopes, and we've got reports, Ashley St. Clair reported, she's in possession of a ticket that says no name given.
No, I saw the tweet.
I'm not going to sit on a plane knowing that there's a person who's not been vetted from security.